Hello, darlings. We all have those days when we're feeding a large number of people and we need a flavor bomb dish that's easy, nutritious, and delicious. And my go-to recipe for days like these is an authentic Indo-Fijian curry made with Australian lamb with potatoes and carrots. Find some gorgeous shanks from your local butcher and ask them to cut them into curry pieces. I bought 5 shanks today to feed 6 to 8 people, depending on how big the appetites are. It's come up to $55. Everything else you need should be in your fridge or pantry already, and if it isn't, then it needs to be. Our first step is preparing our fresh spices, a trinity of Indo-Fijian cuisine. That's 2 handfuls of garlic, good knob of ginger, and as much chili as you can handle. Give it a whiz with a generous pour of water set aside and get into slicing a whole brown onion. Don't feel like you need to be as authentic to the recipe as I am by cutting these on my thumb. Please go ahead and use a chopping board if you need to. The only other step for preparation is that we fill a bowl with water and cut up potatoes and carrots into thick chunky pieces, and now we're ready to cook. Pull out a deep heavy pot. I've got my old faithful cast iron enamel pot that I use for all my lamb curries. Dob 2 generous tablespoons of ghee. These are Fijian tablespoons, so it's probably closer to 3 tablespoons, which is necessary for a rich Indo-Fijian lamb curry. Even Zuko, my beautiful dog, knows that Aussie lamb is currently being cooked and wants in on the action, but sadly it's dry food day for him. Spice your ghee with 2 cinnamon sticks, a teaspoon of cardamom pods, a teaspoon of cloves, 5-star anise, half a teaspoon of coriander seeds, half a teaspoon of fennel seeds, and about 2 teaspoons of cumin. We'll let that all pop and sizzle before tossing in 2 sprigs of fresh curry leaves, stir, and then add in our onion. Once our onions are lightly caramelized, we add in all our fresh spices, let it get acquainted with our dry spices and ghee before introducing a can of whole peeled tomatoes, and this is where we add in the ultimate flavor bomb, Indo-Fijian curry powder. In my experience, the addition of this unique blend of spices creates the most addictive gravy that has ever existed. It also enhances the natural richness of lamb shanks, making it the most incredible combination, and it's just a dish that you just got to try, and you got to make it a part of your regular meal rotation. I added 4 tablespoons of Indo-Fijian curry powder to achieve this perfect color before seasoning generously with salt and balancing with monk fruit sweetener, although you can also use raw sugar. In goes our lamb, seasoned with another pinch of salt, and mix until every piece is covered in gravy before tossing in your vegetables, and we'll bring it all to a bubble before we put on our lid, and we turn the heat all the way down to our lamb to render its own natural juicy goodness to add to the gorgeousness of that gravy. The next part is really just a waiting game, but we'll come back and visit it every 30 minutes for the first hour, leaving it at a low heat, and then at the 1 hour mark, we're just going to increase this to medium heat and let it bubble more aggressively for about another 45 minutes, and it's at this point that we add in a generous amount of coriander, mix it through to combine, cut the heat, cover with our lid, and allow it to rest for 15 minutes. In the meantime, we can prepare our accompaniments. I've got some cumin spiced yogurt and a quick carrot and vinegar situation that I'm obsessed with, and there you have it. Serve it up with rice and everything else. Cutlery is optional, and if I'm honest, this is the best eaten with your hands. If you've never eaten with your hands, it's time to start, especially if you're eating Indo-Fijian lamb curry. Is it hot? Yes. Could I have waited for it to cool down? Absolutely not, because it's one of the easiest, most cost-effective, completely delicious ways to feed a casual gathering of the people you love, and it will be an absolutely incredible, unforgettable meal. I promise you that.